Yeah, unique version.
There we go. And a very good afternoon and welcome to the Saturday preview for the Daily Punt with myself, Dave Massey, and also joined for a special, Cheltenham Special this week by none other than the gorgeous Cathryn and the less than gorgeous Jack Milner.
I thought you were going to announce as an illustrious pair and go to Fry, but no, that's not
We're here to sort of take you through the next 20 minutes. We're going to have a quick look back at things that have happened this week, in particular the reappearance of Presenting Percy yesterday. Then we're going to have a look at 3 at Cheltenham and sort of tidy up with any other bits and pieces that we fancy for the weekend. So we'll be with you, as I say, for about the next 20 minutes or so. And as we say, starting really with, we did want to sort of touch on the reappearance of Presenting Percy in the Galmoy yesterday. Kath, I know you were quite impressed.
I was very impressed. I thought it was a mighty performance. I know people are saying, well, he only beat this so and so, but the fact of the matter is, there were 5 previous festival winners in the field, okay, including Don Poley in that, and the game looks to have gone a bit there, but we all know that was you know, bless him.
We all love Don.
Yeah, he needs a bit of a psychologist, doesn't he, or Don Poley? But I was mightily impressed. I don't think that he had to exert himself too much, and when he was shaken up, he certainly went about his business. Look at the horses that he's beat. So the poem obviously is going to run in the stairs. Looks to have a great chance in that. Cheltenham, we all know the talent Cheltenham's got.
Yeah, I love that horse, Tom.
I absolutely love Cheltenham. Yeah, but the talent is still there even after the injury and everything. That he just can't jump fences, unfortunately. But you know, he's a bloody good horse. And Limini, of course, Limini, a previous festival winner. We all know that she's a bit in and out in the mine department as well, but those 4 were certainly well clear of a decent field, I thought. And I don't think he should have been snipped, but that's the bookmakers.
Yeah.
Should have just, to me, left at the same price. He did nothing to diminish his chances, to me, in the Gold Cup anyway.
But the reason he's been cut, he's had 3 from 4s with Unibet for the you got to give it the full title, the festival in association with Magnus. Hi, Sophia. But yeah, he's 3 from 4s for the Gold Cup, but everyone else has kind of fluffed their lines. So, me personally, Clanderzobo won an interesting renewal of the King George. I don't think the form will stand up. Native River should be running Ireland. He should be running that 3-mile
chase. Lexus or whatever.
He was staying on towards the finish. He's obviously the defending champion. He's 9-2. But again, if you look down, I thought, again, you could make a big argument that Road to Respect was unlucky.
He was unlucky
in that race. I would have fancied Kenboy or Alboom Photo, and then you've got the likes of Thistlecrack and going down further, the likes of Mike Bite. He's had a wind up, he's going to come back. So Presenting Percy shortened due to others fluffing their lines along the way, and you can say the cliches, it's nearly previous season. He's done nothing wrong. Goes out with a good chance, got festival form, etc. And he's only going to shorten on the day.
I was saying to Cathryn beforehand, I think the problem with Presenting Percy yesterday, he was on a hiding to nothing. He was on a hiding to nothing. Whatever he did, people were going to have a moan at him. If he'd have got beat yesterday, people have had a moan. He's won, ears pricked, idled a bit, but there was something in the tank left. You could see that at the last. And people still aren't happy because of what he's beaten. He was never going to win 10-15 lengths first time up for his prep with that 6 weeks away.
David didn't give him a hard race either. He was hands and heels in the straight, and again, the fact, I mean, I know the RSA form gets crap, but I think that's fair enough. It's pretty solid. He won that really well. He'll stay, he jumps well, he goes round Cheltenham, and again, for a lot of these people, they like their trends and whatnot, he'll be very well to get in the book come March.
I think, as we say, one of the first things you look for when you're looking for a Cheltenham Festival winner is previous Cheltenham Festival form, and he's got that in spades. So I'm not at all worried about the form, if you like, the level of form he showed yesterday. We know he can step it up, so that's not a worry for me. I think he's the right favourite, but I agree with Kath. I think yesterday on what you saw, it was harsh, clipping him in a little bit, to be honest. So.
I think, with respect to Native River, he's actually been run in 2 races that wouldn't have suited him at all. Cheltenham suits Native River down to the ground, as courses like Chepstow and stuff like that. You 3 mile 2 at Cheltenham is a tough ask, and Native River, previous Welsh national winner, we know all he does is stay, and that's what outstayed Mike Bite last year simply because of the ground. But I think you will see Native River on top of his game again when he gets back to Cheltenham. To me, he's the biggest danger to Presenting Percy as we stand in time now, and I also think that as you know, I've always been a big fan of Clan des Obeaux, and it was great to see him come through to do that in the King George. All right, you can argue that it's not up to much.
We both know way too patiently would have won by half the track if it but that's a different story.
Move on.
And in fact,
6 minutes in.
Right, what we'll do, it's technically a good 6 minutes. You had 6 minutes in the Jack Milner mentioned waiting, presenting, bingo. Right, we'll tie the Gold Cup in, I think, a little bit with the Cotswold Chase tomorrow, although you'd be hard pushed to say that the Gold Cup winner's in here somewhere, to be perfectly honest. We'll look at that first, the Cotswold Chase of the 3 Cheltenham races that we are going to look at. Elegant Escape, likely to be favourite for this if I just get some betting up for it.
He's not.
Is he not?
Frodon, we're Unibet 5-2 joint favourites, Frodon, Elegant Escape. But Hill's a 2-1 Frodon, 11-4 Elegant Escape, and I think that's a massive price for the Tizard.
That does look. I have to say, that's the first time I've looked at the prices as we're sort of recording this around lunchtime, and that looks a pretty big price to me. I think he's the guaranteed stayer in the field, and you're going to want that tomorrow. The weather tomorrow is worth mentioning. At the moment, there is some rain due to come in afternoon. Now, at the moment, the forecast is saying it's going to hit around 2 o'clock, but if that's out by an hour and a half, and it starts at 12:30 tomorrow, then it could ride a little bit more testing.
Pretty thermals.
We did have a fair bit of rain in the week, midweek, hosed down literally all night. But
good soften place at the moment.
But that's what as we know, it drains well, and
as we know, we've seen.
It
will drain well.
It ended up being, we had a whole host of rain before Christmas, and it still ended up being pretty quick on New Year's Day.
We've seen, last year was a bit of a weird one in that virtually every time we had racing at Cheltenham on those Saturdays, it rained.
Yeah,
it rained in the morning and it kept raining, and you ended up with bad ground. And you may end up with that tomorrow. What's at the moment good ground, if it rains again on that morning and doesn't get time to dry, it could be quite,
So with the rain in mind, and Frodon, who's ran really well to win 2 nice, second in the Bet Victor Gold Cup and then winning the Caspian Caviar, both of them were 2-5, good the first time, then good to soft the second time. Why are they running 3 miles in a furlong?
They're giving it a go, aren't they? But I can't see
I can't see him staying.
I just can't see him lasting out as much as you'd like to, because he's the Cheltenham favourite and he'll get the Royal, but you just can't see him lasting out, can you? Because he will have company on the front as well. Elegant Escape won't be far away from him, I wouldn't have thought. They'll want to be making sure that it's on his pace with him too, and probably to a lesser extent Terraform. But again, he's another one that's got a bit to prove.
Terraform's an interesting one. I think I was at Sandown when he went off for that. What's it called? Almost like a conditions race.
Right, yeah,
that was won by my bike before winning the King George, and he was sent off a really warm favourite that race.
Wasn't he? I think
he went off 4-6.
That's right.
And Nicky Henderson thought he should win. Elegant Escape ended up beating Thomas Patrick. I think the latter's ended up going off favourite for the Hennessy, but he was really disappointing and not been cited since. All these forms going right-handed. I know he won at Aintree last year, but I think he's a still better horse going the other way around. Interesting to him because he's only at the weights, he comes out levels with his pound claim from Elegant Escape, yet relatively overlooked in the market, 7-2.
Yeah, I think
you're not convinced, are you?
Not particularly. No, I'm not marking Cathryn.
When he won at Aintree, he beat obviously Miss Parfois and Elegant Escape. Then you can argue that those two did. They both ran at Cheltenham and had finished in the placings at the festival, but I don't think he's out of it. I think he was disappointing very disappointing at Sandown, and for me there's question marks over that. But from what we've seen from him so far, would I be backing him at 7-2? Probably not. But I think it's interesting to see him in here.
Quickly, we better touch on the other two. What do you make of Valtor's Ascot, which on the face of it looks terrific, but
it's hard to know. He made his debut for the yard, more or less made all.
Went off 33s. There wasn't a lot expected of him.
And he's gone at what, £10 in the handicap? He's gone at £12. So he's rated 160. Elegant Escape's rated 159. Yeah, Valtor's 5-1 to win. This needs to go to the appeals panel of handicapping, no doubt. The interesting one for me is Minella Rocco. I backed.
Well, he'll want the rain to stay away.
A couple of years ago,
when
he stayed on strongly, he finished second in the Gold Cup behind size and joining first time cheek pieces. He's had a wind operation. He's been cited as the best horse John Joe's ever trained.
I thought that was more of that.
That was more of that, sorry, you never know, do you? I listen to grand horses, yeah. Well, lovely horse, but I mean, for him, 3 miles around Cheltenham shouldn't be a problem if he jumps well, but Richie McLean is riding and not Barry Geraghty, so...
The interesting thing for me with Manila Rocco is that he takes his chance here, because he was ended up in the Sky Bet as well, where he would have had top weight but a marker 155, and he would have looked nicely treated in that Sky Bet, and the ground will probably be better at Doncaster than here. That Sky Bet was there for the winning.
It's quick ground there too,
and it's quick ground. So he's coming here, taking his chance, but he will want that rain to stay away. We really will need it to stay away. Right, okay, so selections for the race. Elegant Escape for me.
Elegant Escape for me.
And I'm going for the hat-trick Elegant Escape for me.
And there we go, a £21 penalty, ladies and gentlemen, for Elegant Escape tomorrow. Won't be winning. Right, okay. The Ballymore then, after that, at 3 o'clock. Possibly surprisingly, Birchdale's been put in his favourite. Cards on the table for me, I like Birchdale, I think he's the likely winner, but I did think he might be second or third in the betting. I can appreciate the front three are all fairly close up. He's sort of 2-1, 9-4, take your pick of the three. But I did think Birchdale, on what he's achieved, might be third in. You like Jarvis Plate?
I really like Jarvis Plate. Yeah, we heard whispers saying he was probably one of the best horses, if not the best horse, in Fergler's Yard, and he was sent off for a really warm order at Hereford over 2 miles. Finished third in what turned out to be a really warm race, and then. I mean, Paddy Brennan, who writes a blog for 32 Red Weekly, said, on a weekly basis, said that they were really disappointed. They thought they'd beat Alexa Donitz, getting £10 from him. Yeah. That form being Frankie's ended up winning the Tolworth. He's now 12s for the Supreme, and you know he beat a really good horse on trials. He's beat him by 13 lengths. I mean, it's kind of gone slightly under the radar, but he's absolutely bolted up. He's now rated 143. He comes in with really solid form. I think he should be favourite. He's 5-2 at the minute, 2-1 with us. I think he'll go favourite. But yeah, Birchdale, he did look really good. He won at Newbury, didn't he? But he's got a lot to prove. Whereas another horse with similar amounts of hype is Bruno Pastone, who's been really well backed in the week, and I think he will like the rain, contrary to what connections think.
Kath, your view?
I agree with Jack for all known form. What we know of Jarvis Plate and the form of Elixir de Nuts, I think that he should be favourite, and the others is kind of, we know about Jarvis Plate, he's fully exposed, whereas the rest under him kind of aren't. I'm actually just going to chuck a few pounds at Buster Valentine.
I like the horse, yeah. Yeah,
purely because, I mean, Ruth Jefferson knows the time of day, and they don't venture this far south unless they think that they've got a good chance, you know?
Yeah.
Are you alright over there?
Yeah, you're alright. I'm trying to something. Carry on, as you were.
It's purely for that. I mean, there's an awful lot in the field that we're waiting to see what they can do. Birchdale included, Bruin Up a Storm included. Buster Valentine stands out for me purely. He's unbeaten already. Alright, you can say that the form's not up to much, but the fact that they're bringing him down here to see this, then, and I think that at the moment at 14-1, I'm quite prepared to take a chance on that.
I think at 14s you can probably chuck a couple of quid on him. There is a collateral form line through Mr. Moonboy that sort of says he's got a bit to find with Birchdale, but it's very
named after you.
I thought. I'm going to play devil's advocate with the Jarvis Plate form. I thought last time he ended up beating a non-stayer and a horse that was ridden too aggressively for me, and he's ended up beating them by, you know, a bigger distance than perhaps he should. And he's been a bit flattered by it, and the mark as such is a little bit high. Birchdale's Warwick win, on the face of it, isn't as good, but I think as a body of form, there's been horses that have come out from that race that have won again since the second came out, won easy, the third fell in a race up at Ayr, but the fifth, Sambira Shujar, came out and hacked up at Chepstow, and he's the sort of yardstick in the race for me. So I think although Birchdale's form needs taking forward again, as a body of form, I think that might work out better, and I think he's less flattered, if you like, by winning that than Jarvis Plate might have been last time.
Why do you think Birchdale's saying it rather than Champ?
I don't know, because
read the Unibet blog to find
Champ apparently would be wasting his time running here. He just needs a run, doesn't he? It'd be a run for the sake of it.
Speaking of playing devil's advocate,
interesting, by the way, just I'll mention Not That Fweet, who I got down as a champion, a county hurdle. I've got him down for the county hurdle, weirdly, and they're going up in trip again. I sort of get why they're going up in trip with him again, but I thought after his second year, a couple of runs ago to the Twiston Davis horse, what was it, Al Dancer, when he sort of looked a little bit tapped the toe and then finished off really strong, I thought a strong run county hurdle would be right up his street, but he does need to go up a little bit, so see how he gets on tomorrow.
And speaking from this race, yeah, it's been used generally a good trial for the, I'm going to say the Neptune, the Ballymore, the Festival. Could you see any of these competing in the 2-5 race?
Jarvis, yeah.
You could see Jarvis. Listen, all the front three are going to have chances. If they win and win well tomorrow, they're going to be,
If you compare the best of the British now, his champ's currently the 4-1 favourite. That's again missing this in favour of Birchdale today. And then Jarvis Plate's in there at 16th. But in terms of the Irish horses, Battle of Adoyan looks really good for Gordon. He's in there at 6s. And again, Willie's horses have been really quiet in the bedding for, I'd say, the anti-post markets in terms of his hurdlers. And Animic's disappointed on his seasonal debut, but Willie doesn't have that one obvious.
No, he doesn't.
Does he?
I think, as we saw at Goran yesterday, the Mullins Walsh bandwagon has now just started to fire, hasn't it? I mean, if we look at Fiesta's invitation only, I thought was very impressive, and so was Alpha de Zobo as well.
Oh, I love that horse. First time headgear, yeah. I think hopefully he goes back to Aintree.
Yeah, definitely. But invitation only, surely now after winning the Fiestas, you've got to go to the, obviously we'll come back to the Gold Cup.
Which is what Jacadam did,
exactly.
3 years ago?
Yeah, and he's actually rated higher than when Jacadam won the, I think invitation only is 152 at the moment, is he?
Yep.
And Jacadam was in the 140s. So I think that now and then Silas Emery, of course, was impressive as well at Goran yesterday. The bumper horse, I think now we're really starting to see that, and it's coming at the right time of year. We're just nearly 6 weeks away, just about from the festival. So I'm not worried about that. Remember when a couple of years ago we went the first 2 days without a Mullins Walsh winner, and then
the fourth higher on
exactly,
Ruby Thursday. Yeah,
I'll tell you a quick story about that. Becky Bailey, the photographer, Willie they won a best turned out, and she was getting them all together for the photograph. And Willie says, "What's this for?" He says, "Oh, you'll be." Becky says, "Oh, you'll be presented with a photograph." "Oh, that's nice. They want me to go away with something after a couple of minutes." So he's still got his sense of humour. Right,
York Hill on the first.
Pushing into time, guys. We'll move on. Cleve hurdle 3:35. This to me is my favourite race. I think tomorrow. I think you can give plenty of these some sort of a squeak on the best of their forms. Hard to call. 4-1 field.
I'll start by saying, Dave, Paisley Park deserves favourite, yes or no?
Yes, just.
Sure about that?
Yes, just, because I think if you're putting him up against Black Op and Midnight Shadow, both of whom have something to prove tomorrow in terms of Black Op well-being, and I know Kath thinks he'll stay, and certainly Midnight Shadow's got to prove it.
About Black Op or Midnight Shadow.
They've got to prove that they stay. So Paisley Park, having shown that he does stay, should be favourite tomorrow. And then looking at the rest of them, Petit Swan, okay, he's stepping up from handicap company again, but he was quite impressive. I think there's a bet in this.
Gone.
And those lovely people at Paddy Power are going 5 places on this tomorrow.
Thanks, Binners.
5 places. Thanks, Binners. And at 33, and they are top price, the Mighty Don at 33s, and that is.
Are you thinking he's going to be held up and run on for a place?
If he can sort his feet out early and he can stay in touch to half, that's his issue. It's always been his issue. His hurdling technique has let him down at times, and he did last time at Ascot, and yet he still finished within 7 lengths of Paisley Park, sticking to it at the finish. If he jumped better early, I think he would have been in the frame, and he'd have got quite close to Paisley Park. If there is rain coming, that will just help him a little bit. It will slow the others down a stride. When it rained here and he beat Sykes in that handicap earlier, it did rain that morning again. Just got Sling out the ground. It's what he wanted.
I think Tony Calvin put Sykes up.
And he is. Look, when all said and done, the Mighty Don, he's taking a step forward with each run. He is improving a little bit with each run. He can't be 33s tomorrow. He's certainly not 5 places.
I would say, Dave, as well, given the pace in the race, Sam Spinner's got only one wave running.
Exactly, it's what we were saying before. Sam Spinner will go from the front. Holston will press, Little Rockefeller will press.
They're going to go
early. So I say, the key to the Mighty Don for me there is he stays in touch early and he sorts his feet out. If he can hurdle properly early in the contest, I think he'll have his chance of being there later on.
I really, Petit Swan, when I think he ran up at Newbury on his seasonal reappearance, did he finish 5th?
That's right, yeah, very eye-catching.
He travelled really well, and he did the same at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. I had to watch it in an airport lounge, airport cabbage somewhere, but he absolutely bolted up that day. He was held up really well, and again, I think he's going to be held off the pace. At current price at 8-1, I think he's really, really
I can see him going off second favourite.
I think he'll be backed as well,
I can see him being backed and going off second.
I really fancy him, and I also like Harry, who I think he was somewhat unlucky at Ascot. He was travelling really well when he came down, but like you said, he's getting on a bit.
He's to the point
he's running against unexposed rivals. So.
Yeah, he's to the point where if he won tomorrow, okay, you wouldn't be surprised because he's got the back class to win it. But equally, you'd be a bit disappointed and think, well, is he the best 3 miler that we've got kicking around at the moment? And it would be. You'd think one or two of the less exposed ones would be able to beat it.
I mean, just looking on official ratings, Sam Spinner rated 162. I think he's top rated in the field. Yet he's 12-1. Is he being overlooked here?
Yeah, I think he is being overlooked.
You can argue
the fact that he's not from a fashionable stable, and for the fact that he has unseated the last twice, and the last unseat was really quite bizarre, wasn't it? He just put the brakes on, and that was that. But I mean, I know Jed O'Keefe put on his Twitter feed the other day video pictures of him schooling, and there didn't seem to be an issue. Is that because he's at home and he's comfortable, or is that are we going to see that happen again when he's out on the track? I think you have got to factor into that price, but I think 12-1. There's quite a bit of room in that price, isn't there? Going back to Black Op, I actually think he was being asked to go a little bit too fast in his chases. I think he is a stayer. I know that you guys don't.
I'm not convinced. I think he's got plenty. I know you want to aim at 3 miles, didn't you? But
yeah.
I mean, don't forget around this time. I remember we went to
from the family of Bolstar King though.
We went to the Weights Is it this meeting last year and he got outstayed by Santini of a 2.5? Am I thinking that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Is that going novice chase? Yeah.
The Buffalo Gals route went round.
Novice hurdle, sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, after watching, before they said that that was it. Chasing was being abandoned. The race where he was behind Lost in Translation and Deffy, I thought to myself, oh cool, send him RSA.
I'm sure he's put up on the blind side for that race, by the way, didn't I? I knew.
I
beating 100 lengths.
Yeah, but
you were right, man.
Yeah, but
we've seen 20s after that race.
No.
Yeah, but we've seen that before, haven't we? We've seen performances like that before, and then we've seen them turn that around the next time out.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely.
The jury's still out for me.
I think as a piece of form as well, the two of them, Lost in Translation, Deffy DeSalle, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 1-2 in the JLT in a few weeks' time. So yeah, I think that's very fair about Black Ops.
So to me, I mean, there's not 4-1 isn't really a price that is like.
It doesn't make a lot of appeal.
It doesn't make a lot of appeal.
But again, as you say, equally, Kath, you're right. If you won tomorrow.
But if we go back to last year's festival, and also, I mean, okay, Sam Pro's had a very strange season, and now we're not going to see him again until next season. But if we go back in time to last year's festival and is second to Sam Pro, then you'd be all over him here, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, if you use, I'm just having a look at it, just using the rail keel hurdle as a form line, you've got the 1-2 period. What Midnight Shadow beat Holston, and last year's winner, I think, Agrippa. Agrippa will, if it rains. That's got a great chance.
It's really got to sling it down for him, though, I think.
Which really last year it had, and it was pretty good.
Using your Paddy Power 5 places line, Agrippa 16-1 5 places. Yeah. If you can be out there doing your rain dance in your smalls first thing in the morning.
As I say, I think it's an open race, Jack. You can make a case for very nearly everything in the field if you go through them one at a time. And at the prices as well as you say, the likes of Sam Spinner and Agrippa, for class animals, Little Rockefeller 20s, they're all class animals, and you can make cases.
I just said with the depth in the race, backing the likes of Paisley Park, Black Op and Midnight Shadow, all around the 4-1 mark, I just think you've got to be very brave.
Right, okay, selections for the race, I'll go with the Mighty Don each way.
Petit Soin, and back him at 25s for the stayers.
Black Op.
And then quickly we'll sort of round up by, is there anything else tomorrow either at Cheltenham or Doncaster or indeed anywhere else that you can see is worth a bet?
I was going to say, you mentioned, Dave, the fact that Manila Rocco misses the Skybit chase at Donny. It's an interesting race. That Dingo Dollar, so I back that for the NSA. I think everything's in his favour tomorrow. He can't have any excuses. 3 miles flat track, left as on good ground. I know the connections are aiming for the Scottish National. This is generally a race Alan King has a good record in. I just don't know whether I want to back him at 5-2. I think he's the most likely winner, but I can't back him at the price.
I'll tell you what I like in that, and I'll have a bet in this, and I'm going to be backing Federici off bottom weight.
Really?
Yeah. I think Federici's got decent each way.
130.
Brian, I think the 2 key points for me are Brian Hughes back on board, and the swapping the cheap pieces back for the blinkers, which they did for this last year. And he ran a lot better. He only got beaten 3 lengths. Effectively, he's a pound lower this year because he was out of the handicap last year round. I think that wasn't a bad run at all at Aintree. He only got beaten 10 lengths there by walking the mill. He'll stay. He'll like the ground. He's got Brian Hughes on board. I think you'll get a decent run for your money out of Federici.
And likewise, I'd say Willie Boy, who was going really well when he fell into their victory. He then had a nice confidence boosting win at Weatherby. He stepped up to 3 miles. He's around the 10-1 mark. The race will probably revolve around 007, who's had another wind up. And he beat Go Conquer fair and square last year. Go Conquer only is £1. I think 007 was valued for a lot more that day. I think Aidan gave him a good ride. Nico replaced him, but I think this race could potentially be used as something of an entry pointer later on in the season. I wouldn't be surprised. They've always thought the world of 007.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, not always shown it, but yeah, he's always been sort of.
I don't think whether Go Conquer, whether they've got the marbles to run Go Conquer over the national fence again, who knows, but we'll see.
Kath, anything that you want to put up?
Nothing else at Cheltenham, but Nace on Sunday, Rach Blackmore and Blow by Blow team up, 3 miles.
So it's got entries in, I think, 2.5, 3 and 4 miles at the festival, so good luck trying to work out what he's going to run.
So when all of our selections are blown that tomorrow, you can get out on Sunday on Kath's Blow by Blow.
I absolutely love Blow by Blow.
Guys, thank you very much indeed. I'll be back on my own next Saturday to do the next of the Saturday previews. Thank you very much.
But if you're really lucky, we'll all be back together for the festival.
Only Fozzie Goscar wins today at Doncaster. If not.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Oh, the